Hi everyone, welcome to this video. I wanted to share with you about improving the deliverability of your cold email. This is a topic that I recently wrote an article on for my blog and sent an email to my list and got some really great feedback on. So I think it's something that people struggle with a lot with cold email is just deliverability. There's several key elements to building a successful cold email campaign, and one is deliverability, so just getting into the inbox. Then there's the copy, so what you actually say, and the list, so saying it to the right people. And so good deliverability is pretty much a third, 30% of the success of your cold email, because you could have the best email copy and sending it to exactly the right people. But if it's being filed into the spam junk box, then you're really not going to get anybody opening the email and zero responses. So let's look at 11 ways that you can improve the deliverability of your cold email. Okay, so the first way is we recommend Google Workspace. So I've tried setting up cold email campaigns with other providers, HubSpot, Zoho, Outlook emails, all kinds of things. Outlook is particularly challenging. There's lots of firewalls and security elements with Office. And that just increases the chance of your cold email landing in spam or bouncing and having generally poor deliverability. So we always recommend going with Google Workspace. It's just the easiest to configure. It's not expensive, and you do have the chance of the best deliverability using Google. And it costs about $8 a month to have an inbox with a Google Workspace. The next step is to make sure you set up some technicalities of your new inbox. So the SPF, DMARC, and DKIM records. So another reason to go with Google is two of those are already set up for you. So the SPF and DKIM records are auto set up, and you only need to do the DMARC settings. However, if you do need to set up all three, they're just inside the DNS settings of your domain provider. And all you need to do is Google how to set up an SPF record or how to set up a DMARC record. And it's fairly straightforward. Like, there's very clear Google prompts. However, if you are stuck with that process, it's a little bit technical, just comment below and we can certainly help you out. But if you don't set up these records, you're going to find that you're going to be landing in the spam inbox because it's not configured properly to be sending emails. The next step is to make sure you've got valid email addresses. So you might have bought a list of email addresses, or you might have gained a list of emails from LinkedIn Sales Navigator, or have an old CRM or database of emails. It's really important that you validate them before you send your campaign, because if they're out of date and invalid, so you're going to get a high rate of bounces, and it's just going to damage the reputation of your domain and inbox. You're going to get other more valid emails will end up going into spam purely because you've got too many invalids in your list. So tools to help you with validation include NeverBounce. That's a paid tool, but it's quite cost effective. It's like point something of a cent per email to validate, and it will run a test on your list and tell you which of the emails would be deliverable. And sometimes it can reduce your list by half, but that's okay. You want to send to only those who have 100% deliverability. If you want to use free tools, something called Email Hippo is great. It's just a little bit more manual, like you have to check each one manually, but it's also a free option if you prefer. Next step is to make sure your new inbox is receiving emails as well as sending them. So make sure you sign up for newsletters. Just sign up for, Huffington Post, New York Times, pretty much every e-commerce site, charity, news outlet has a newsletter. Just go and sign up to a bunch of them. The reason is it's important to be receiving emails as well as sending. So if you start sending 30 emails a day and not receiving enough back, it can trigger a spam warning. So you want to keep your domain authority healthy and things. So just start receiving newsletters. You can just set up an auto file and have them going into a file or a special inbox so that you don't need to clutter up your inbox with all the newsletters, but just be receiving. That's an important thing. Just make sure that for a lot of newsletters to actually allow you to subscribe, you would need to manually verify them. So sign up, click the verification, and then off you go. You'll be able to receive those newsletters on a daily basis. Okay, if you're starting out, we recommend that you increase your sending gradually. So you could start by sending 1 a day, and then 2 a day, and then 3 a day, and 4 a day, and just keep doing that over a month until you are sending 30 a day. And we would recommend that you really don't exceed 30 to maximum 50 at all times, even if you have a fully warmed up inbox, an old account, a warmed domain. It's preferable to set up more inboxes and be sending less from each inbox at a slight cost, because it costs per inbox, than to be using one or two inboxes and just be sending hundreds or even thousands of emails at a time. You're going to quickly get lots of bounces, a poor domain reputation, and all your emails going into spam. If you open a Google Workspace, I recommend that you, for example, you have a domain and you have a Google Workspace attached to that domain. You can open 2 or 3 inboxes there, but then go to a new domain and open 2 or 3 inboxes on a new domain and a new Google Workspace, and be spreading your emailing out across multiple inboxes. It's a good way to split test as well as having different accounts. Okay, the next step for deliverability is to limit the number of links that you're creating in your email. Just have a clean email. Even in the footer, if you're used to having links to your website and other things in the footer, just remove them. Don't send lots of images or videos and things, particularly in the first email. Don't be sending attachments, things like that, just because that improves deliverability if it's just a very simple email. Obviously, if people reply and opt in for something, of course, you can send an attachment or send them a link, but just for your first outreach, just limit that, because the goal is it to get into their inbox for them to open it, and then for your campaigns to go from there. Other things, like small little things, matter. So configure your inbox so you have a profile picture on your emails and things like that. Create a signature, a custom signature and things. Just make sure your inbox is actually configured properly and not just a blank email or a blank campaign. Another way to improve the deliverability is to vary the sending cadence of your outreach. So if you just every morning at 9 o'clock blast 30 emails, that doesn't appear very natural behavior. So spread out your sending, have random daily sending limits. So even just change it. Some days 30, some days 36, some days 27, something like that. Just keep it variable and have them spaced out and sending across the day. So you are using email sending automation, that should be doing that for you. But if you're manually sending, then just make sure you're spreading that out over the day and varying it in a natural, because you want to imitate just natural human behavior. The next step is to personalize your message. If you're sending a lot of messages just with a carbon copy template, it can also flag as spam. So add things that personalize that. So whether that's dynamic placeholders, just where company name, job title, personal name is inserted into the email, that's a simple way of personalizing it. If you can, add more personalized lines to show you've actually researched the company and know their work. So if you do a lot of cold email, you realize that that's hard to automate. So that does slow you down, but there are ways of doing it, whether you're using AI personalized first lines, or whether you have a virtual assistant inserting the personalized first lines into your email copy. There's different ways of doing that. But as much as you can personalize your outreach, it just adds that special touch. And another way you can personalize is make a personalized offer. So tell them that you can offer them a personalized audit or assessment. So that's more personalization in the follow-up than in the first message, but it's still kind of connecting with the individual company. The next step to avoiding going into spam is to avoid spam words. So there are trigger words and sometimes trigger symbols, so such things like $ or currency signs like pounds or euro, words like profit or finance or guarantee and things like that. They'll often be flagged by different email providers and likely to land in the spam folder. So there's a really great tool called Mail Meteor, and the link is there on the screen. Just check your email copy through it. It'll highlight which words are likely to be spam trigger words, and you can find a synonym or even just remove the word if you don't need it. Find a way of saying the same thing without that word, and it can be a way of just avoiding your emails just being filed into spam. Okay, we've kind of touched on this, but it's definitely worth trying to send manually. So setting up a team of VAs or something to be sending manually and reflecting more human behavior, because sometimes pretty much any automation or tracking tool might just suddenly start sending your email into the spam folder. And that can happen, say, by a Google update or something, which happened earlier this year. Just really high proportion of all emails were being sent into spam. And the only way around it was to try manual sending. So it's definitely worth doing that. Of course, it means it's harder to check open rates. However, if you do use links such as Bitly or Loom or other things in your second or third email, or even in your first email, then you can track click rates. So if people have clicked on a personalized video or a personalized link, that can help you monitor your campaign success if you don't use other tracking tools or you're just sending manually. And of course, a number of increased positive replies is a good success metric for your emails. So if you're sending manually and you can't tell how many have been opened, you can count how many have been replied to, so you can track the success of your campaign that way. Last is to test. So definitely split test your emails, test your email subject line, test your email body copy, test the target list that you're sending to, and just keep trying for improved results. You can split test your campaigns, just changing one variable. So run a campaign with different subject lines, or keep the same subject line, but run a campaign with different email body copy, or keep the same email and body copy, but send it to different target lists. And by just testing these single variables, you're able to assess like winning combinations and the best campaign for your email campaigns for the best outcome. If you would like help with your email campaigns, or if you just like to outsource it because you're finding it quite hard to configure all the elements, then we are offering a fully done for you service now. And that includes everything from data research, finding valid emails, making sure that they're the most valid and up to date, opening new inboxes, warming new inboxes and domains, creating email copy, composing the email campaigns, setting up and launching them, of course, replying to emails, optimizing the deliverability, split testing campaigns, and then obviously handling replies and booking calls into your diary. So that's a fully outsourced done for you service that we are offering at the moment. So if you would like to start booking between 5 to 40 appointments every month using cold email, then definitely comment below, reach out to me on email, look me up at jenbishopconsulting.com, or add me on LinkedIn at Jen Bishop Consulting. I'd love to have a chat to you about how you can improve your cold email. If not, just comment below on what you found helpful about this video, and I look forward to chatting to you soon. All right, thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.